Hi, I'm Jason Sterling. I'm a member of the EA Creator Network, and this is going to be building a campground. I'm going to start building a campground naturally, right, for the new upcoming pack. Adventure awaits. Building a little early, but that's okay. I'll get all the bones in place, get it pretty well outfitted using things like horse ranch, maybe outdoor retreat. And then when the new pack gets here, I can take stuff from the new pack and kind of integrate it into this build, right? So let me see here. Make sure we're running live. Everything's good. This build, right? So let me see here. Make sure we're running live. We do seem to be good, right? Okay, let me adjust this here. Get all my stuff set, and then we're going to be ready to roll. Some hydration from the day. Of course, I have been at work all day. I got off a little early. I usually don't stream on Saturdays because I usually don't get off till about 7:30. But I got off a little early tonight, about 2.5 hours early. So I thought, let's go ahead and do a quick stream and get this campground going. Now, this campground I'm going to base on trips I took with my son from like about the age of 5 through 8. We did a bunch of road trips around the United States, and we stayed almost exclusively at campgrounds. So, and a lot of times in a tent. So we literally camped in a tent. A few times we camped in what they kind of like a small cabin, but it's pretty basic. We're going to build one of those cabins here, so you'll see just how basic it is. And we're going to build some campsites, and we're going to build sort of a replica of a major campground company here in the United States called Campgrounds of America, or KOA. And KOAs usually, aside from having campsites and some sort of, like maybe a little cabin or something, everything's pretty communal. Like the bathrooms are communal, the showers are communal. You'll have maybe an activities room, some sort of store, like a general store type store. And sometimes like a pool, some outdoor activities, stuff like that. So what I want to start with is an activity room and the shop and the entrance to this building. Now, these particular buildings, these KOAs, have a pretty distinctive style to them. I think, let's see here. I'm going to start it right about here. We're going to do something. I'm thinking about 6 squares across. 6 by 8, maybe. I don't know. You know what I need to do? I'm going to grab a couple of activity tables here because this is going to be our activity room on this side. So I do want to grab some of these activities like, well, this is a good judge of space, right? So we'll put one of the tables there. We'll put our light fixture in there. What I really want is the foosball table that we have. Where is it? Because my son and I, the first time we ever played foosball was actually at a campground. So, and he just fell in love with it. It's also the first place that we played Uno was at a campground. Was at that same campground. Kind of a long story, but we were camping and the weather turned out really bad. And we couldn't really go do what I'd planned to do that day. And he was like, well, let's go check out this room. Let's go see what's in here. And it was full of all these sort of games. Let me turn move objects on. And so that's one of the big things that always sticks in my memory from that is stuff like that. So I'm going to put a few. I think this will be enough space. It doesn't have to be super huge. If I need it to be bigger, we can make it a little bit bigger. But the thing about KOAs is they're usually not like super huge, I mean, not the buildings. The point of being there is a camp. It's not necessarily a resort. It's a campground. Let's put our little kind of general store over here. So we'll have our check-in desk, our general store, our activity room. I think down over on this side, I'm going to do the communal shower bathroom area. I don't know how big I need it. I'm going to go with this. We're going to go with this size here. And because I'm basing this on the United States, there will be separate men's and women's sides. Normally with bathrooms, I just do unisex. But for authenticity, I'll kind of divide it in half there. Let's make this a little, maybe, let me kind of stretch that out. There we go. That should be enough room. We're not going to need a crazy amount of room, I don't think, but we'll see. Like when I'm play testing it, I'll definitely see. Now over here, we're going to do a couple of these camping cabins, which are kind of these sort of basic accommodations. I think I'll put them over here maybe. I want the pool and playground and maybe like horseshoes to go here in the middle. So we're going to leave that pretty open. This is, most KOAs are kind of laid out a little bit on a grid. The one thing I wish this lot was a little bit bigger, because I would love to do a little bit of terrain work with it. I've been to a lot of campgrounds that, you know, were hilly and had trees and stuff like that. Unfortunately, here's what we're stuck with. I know in the kind of national park area for this new pack that there is a 64 by 64 lot, which I have already used. I'm kind of counting out the amount of space here I need. I think this is right. I'm going to need a double bed and then bunk beds. And then I need a space to walk, and I need a desk. And that should do it. So maybe 5 by 5. And then we also have a 50 by 50, which I don't want to use because I don't know how much of that lot is dedicated to water, because it's one of the water lots where we can put a dock, like a fishing dock. Now, once I get access to the pack, I might move this to a 50 by 50 lot, because it would be kind of cool maybe to do some fishing, and it'd also be cool to maybe put a luxury cabin on over the water, right? There are a few kind of luxury cabins, and by luxury, I mean they have their own bathroom, basically. Typically, that's the only thing that defines luxury at a KOA based, you know, compared from these cabins, right? These cabins, these camping cabins, and a luxury cabin. You have your own bathroom. Down here, I'm going to put 3 tent sites, I think. I'm hoping one in each corner, one in the middle. We could kind of line that out right now. I'm going to put a few things here to line it out, just to get us kind of started. I'm going to use this kind of tent, I think. Actually, my son and I used more like this. It was seriously just a little 4-person tent, but it was super easy to set up. That's why I liked it. It went up pretty quick and came down pretty quick because we were road tripping. So we weren't going someplace and just camping. We were just using campsites along the way as places to stay. So we're going to put our little tent here. Now, typically with a KOA, you're going to have a tent. You're going to have kind of a pad site for the tent. Then you're going to have, let me see, do we have gravel? Do we have any sort of gravel here? I think we do. Like this. So you're going to have kind of a place to park your car, right? I usually do about 3 by 5 for a car parking space. So you have a place to park your car. I think there would usually be kind of like a tree that was planted like 50 years ago when the place first opened. So now it's kind of a substantial tree, right? Because it would have been real small back then, but now it's kind of a substantial tree. So we'll put it here. A lot of places will have a dedicated electrical outlet and water outlet for your particular tent. Some places will only have water, and then some places will just have a common water area where everybody goes to get water at one time. I'm going to give each tent at my campground their own water source. That was always the best, right? That's always the best. Let's see here. I'm going to use a ton of horse ranch stuff. I really don't need to put wood here, but I'm going to put wood there because it's usually just a wooden sort of posts or even just a pipe coming out of the ground, but we don't have a pipe coming out of the ground. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to grab this. There we go. The good old trusty base game water hose. We're going to put that there. We also would have a picnic table typically. I mean, like real typically, that was very common with that sort of setup, right? Campground. So we'll put a little picnic table here. And the other thing that we usually might typically have would be a barbecue grill, a sort of basic grill, very much like this here, right? Basic, but serviceable, very usable. So we'll kind of put it in. And then sometimes you would have, in addition to that, or instead of that, you would have like a fire ring, right? So we'd have like, one of these rustic fire pits. We're going to use one of them too. We're going to put it over here by the water. So if it catches on fire, right, we'll be able to put it out really quick. And then we'll grab some of this pebbles. Let me see here. Put a little gravel around it for safety first, you guys. And then I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that typically would be at a tent site, because I don't think there ever was. I think this is about it, right? Now, the tent sites varied. Sometimes they would be on top of gravel as well, or pebbles. Someone thought that was a better idea than just grass and ground. I've been in a few places like that. But for now, I think this does pretty much map out what a tent site would be. And we should have enough room based on this for one over here, one over here. And I'm going to turn those at an angle over in these areas. Let's just kind of set a couple in place, because I'd like to do a lot of this area a little more than just like a square, right? I'd like to turn one of these at an angle. But if I turn this structure into an angle, it's not really going to match this structure any longer in dimensions or look, because of the way the grid system's done in game. So I'm not going to do that, even though I would like to, because I do want these to match. And typically at a campground like this, they're going to match. They're going to look identical. Now, for this building, a lot of these campgrounds were initially built in the 70s, right? Or the 60s, or even the 50s. And so there's a little bit of this sort of uniqueness. Let me go down here and see where this goes exactly. Go up here in design. And it is very, very common for them to, let's see if I can get this right, to have like an A-frame sort of front, right? Let's put this here maybe, and then bring it over. Let's see if that works for us. I feel like it could be a little more steep, so I'm going to pull this in like this, and let's pull this in like this. Hopefully, am I even close to the interior? Let me see here. I might need to move them around, because that A-frame should frame the entrance to our structure. So, I don't know what the point of the A-frame was in the original design scheme for these sort of buildings. And you can look them up online. There's still a lot that look like this. I don't know if they just thought it looked cool. Maybe it was supposed to look like a Swiss chalet, maybe, or something. Let's see here. Let's pull this. We have this. We'll bring this like right here. I'm going to bring this right here. And I'm going to give mine like a little X here at the top in order to sort of set it apart. I'm not really trying to do an exact copy of a KOA. I just want to have this sort of general feel. And mostly that's for nostalgia. I mean, you could just do a square building or a rectangular building, and it would be fine. But for nostalgia, for how my son and I did it, I want it to have a certain look. Now, can I make this a little more exaggerated? Maybe like this here. How does that look? That looks a little more like what I'm looking for. I think that's it. And I'm going to stretch that up a little bit more, maybe. For now, I'm going to. And we'll see kind of what I think about it in the end. Now, a lot of these buildings, well, I don't know about a lot. A lot of the buildings I've seen like this from that era, right? There would be a sort of second floor where I guess maybe a sort of caretaker or camp overseer would live. So my thought is to put that in here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to want to keep it. I mean, the dimensions that we have to work with in game are a little bit different than what the dimensions would be in real life for this type of camp. So I'm really torn with it. I'm going to leave that box there for now, but I am a little bit torn with it. I'm going to, again, this is maybe not quite in keeping with the exact style, but I'm going to inset our doors a little bit just to give it a little more architectural interest. In reality, a lot of times it literally is just a rectangular box with an A-frame, kind of stuck on it like this. I'm going to give ours a little bit of architectural interest and have the door inset a bit. And then we could maybe get away from that tree. We could maybe do like a little pitched roof over here. I don't know. I'm going to try it real quick and see how I feel about it. I don't know. It's not too bad. Let me try to get it at the same angle as that, maybe. I mean, it does give it more of an architectural look, right? I don't know that we need a lot of an architectural look for a KOA, but as an architect, I just can't, as a novice, hobbyist Sims architect, I just can't help myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then later, if I decide like it's a little bit too much, I'll take it out. Now, the roof line, I think I'm going to move this a little bit. I think I'm going to move it down. Let's see here. I'm going to move the whole building down like one more spot. I want to make it a 2 grid wide walk area through here. And speaking of walk areas, let's go ahead and let's elevate this up a space like that. And let's elevate this one as well. Because I'm going to do kind of like there'd be like maybe a sidewalk or something. Put this here, connect this back here. And I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess we'll keep it. I don't know. My thought is I really don't necessarily want it to be 3 wide there, though, do I? I want it to be 2. So we're going to bring it like this all the way across. And then we'll put this here. Bring it in for our communal restrooms. And we'll bring it all the way across. I'm going to do something of a roof here. Part of it is because one thing that's in my head, one thing you found at the nicer KOAs, right? At the nicer places is sometimes they had something called like a camping kitchen. Let me pull this here. And the camping kitchen was essentially just a space with like sinks and soap and stuff like that for washing dishes. So, when you got done cooking and all over at your campsite or your camping cabin, you could have some place to actually wash dishes in a sink. Now, a lot of times I just used a plastic square tub at my campsite because a lot of KOAs do not have this, but it was always nice when they had a camping kitchen for that reason, because it made it very, it's a big regular sink to wash dishes in instead of my little tiny like plastic tub. In fact, it's one of those tubs like you get from the hospital, like if you're in the hospital, sometimes you get those little pink tubs, right? It was one of those. So it held, I'd heat the water up at the campfire or at the barbecue grill and then wash the dishes in it, right? So we'll put that over here. I don't know if I want to bring, I don't know if I want to bring a little bit of an overhang here or not, because I don't want to interrupt this look. Because, I did an overhang here. So my thought is no, I will not do an overhang there. I really kind of want something, and I might put in a molding or, kind of freeze or something there, just so it's not a rectangular box. But we'll tackle that in a minute. Now, I also want to go ahead. I'm not going to design these like necessarily. The interior kind of will be. I don't think I want to design these like the camping cabins. I know. I'm going to make them a little more custom, right? So what I want to do is replicate that X, right? And that A-frame look. So we're going to put kind of a little, let's see here. Let's bring it like this. I'm going to copy it on this side. I'm going to bring this up quite a bit too, higher than the main building, because typically you would have like a front porch and you'd be a couple of steps up to get to it. Now back here, let's pull this out. Ourselves a full roof. That's a little bit too high. It's a little bit too exaggerated. So I'm going to bring it down. We're going to bring it down like this. That might even still be a little bit too much. Let me try just going a little bit further down. There we go. Let's go with that. Let's go something a little bit more shallow, not quite as exaggerated. Now, one thing I want to do with this, and this is not something that was I never saw this, but I do think it would be cool to do, is I'm going to build a little carport for your vehicle. Because everybody at a KOA has some sort of vehicle, right? I mean, I shouldn't say everybody, but I'm going to guess almost every single person ever did. Because there's not really any other way to get to one usually. They're kind of not necessarily in the center of town. Let's see, I'm going to do like this. And I thought, well, hey, that's one of the benefits here of getting one of these cabins is that we're going to be able to provide a little bit of shelter for your vehicle in case we have some bad weather. So let's put this here. We'll draw it out. I'm going to bring this in. And again, I want to do a little bit of this sort of like, I don't know, kind of a little bit of the 70s sort of feel on it. We're going to exaggerate that up a little bit. Bring it down like that. How close are we getting? Kind of. Let me try raising this up a little bit. Oh, kind of. Let's move it up a little bit more. Whoa, hold on. Come on, let me grab it. There we go, like that maybe. Because I do want it to look like it's one roof coming all the way down. That's kind of my idea in my head. Let's see if this is going to work for us. Because this is a little bit off, right? Just slightly. If I pull it up like that, does it get better? I mean, a little bit it does. Still not perfect. Can I raise this up higher? Yeah, that's not going to do it. So let's roll that back. Okay, so this is not perfect. This is not the perfect image I had in my head, but I'm going to go ahead and throw some molding onto it and just kind of see how does it look. Because I think it might work. I think it's going to be okay. Let me put this on here. And then, like I said, the idea being you're going to park your like little vehicle. Let's find a truck. Because you're camping, so like if you live in the Midwest here in America, you probably got a truck, you're going to go do some camping in your truck. The KOA. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger like that, 3x5. I think you're going to fit under here, right? Which is a little tight, but I think it works. And I think it kind of gives the idea of what that's about. So we'll put him under there. We're going to go ahead and give him a little gravel to park on. Whoops. Let's see here. Bring that down. Bring it out like this. Oh, shoot. I keep doing it. Okay. Let's move that. That'll solve it. Let's just move it, and then we'll go in here and we'll throw a little bit of gravel under this truck. Now, much like our campsites, these sort of camping cabins would come with like a picnic table, barbecue grill, stuff like that. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to put the front porch onto this particular build. So we'll put our front porch here. Let's make it a little more shallow. It also feels a little bit close to this building, but having only 40 by 40 as a lot size does mean we're probably not going to hit optimum. Let's see here. Why does this one look different? Let's see. I pull it up like that. There we go. Now on the inside, we're going to need some windows. Let's pull up. I'm going to fall back on a lot of horse ranch stuff. I probably should just go ahead and just sort it. Now, okay, like this. This is pretty good. Let's put this in here. And we'll put this over here. Yeah, I think like that. We're going to grab a door. What doors do we have here? The horse ranch doors I don't think are going to work. Yeah, they're really not. So we'll go with just something simple like this. I might swap this out. Some of this stuff will definitely swap out once I have the pack to work with. And we're going to go ahead and let's put a roof on here. In basically the same way that we put a roof on, over the door over here, right? Let's kind of replicate that A-frame kind of look. Bring it in like this. I think this will work. Let's see what it looks like when I get it on here. I don't know. That's a lot. That might be a bit too much. Let's bring the roof out to each side so it covers the whole front porch. And then I'm going to bring these like maybe just all the way down. I guess I could leave it. Again, if it just really seems like something I'm not going to like, I can change it later. Because I don't think it's going to go any further down than that. And it's not. So keep that. Okay, now in these particular cabins, these camping cabins, they're very tight and they're pretty basic, but that's, part of the charm, right? Part of the fun. You have to bring your own sheets in real life. In The Sims, they're included. But in real life, you have to bring your own sheets, your own blankets if you think you need a blanket, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and use Outdoor Retreat for our bed. We'll put that there. The bed normally in here is like this. Whoops. It's normally going to look like that in one of these cabins. I'm going to try doing it like this. Kind of keeps some of the realism. So you're going to have like kind of a double bed, a bed for two people. And then you're also going to have, you're going to have a bunk beds, a set of bunk beds. So basically these cabins, typically, I'm sure we've got one of these. There it is. Hold a family of 4. You got 2 spaces for mom and dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom. In my game, it's always dad and dad, and I don't know why I always say mom and dad. Habit, I guess. Habit of like being raised in America. But in my game, it's always 2 dads, so because that's my primary family. So you have a space for the 2 dads and a space for 2 kids. Where is the other? There it is. Put that in there. I'm going to filter this stuff by horse ranch. Let's look at all of it. I need a desk. I need a chair. Oh, you know what? I also could use some rocking chairs. Let's put a couple of rocking chairs out here. Now, there usually aren't rocking chairs at a KOA, but I like rocking chairs, and I think it's going to be kind of cool to have them, you know, here at my campgrounds, the way I'm doing it. And who wouldn't love that? Like, you pull up to this little cabin, right, and it's got like little rocking chairs out front. I think most people would be pretty cool with that. Let's do that maybe there. Yeah, it matches. Now, with a camping cabin, I will say one of the perks that is typically present, though not always, is there might be a small refrigerator. So we're going to put a small refrigerator in here. Again, it's not a given. You don't always get it, but sometimes you do, and it's super nice when you do. The other thing that's not a given, but again, it's super nice when it's there, is an air conditioner. Let's use this here. I'm going to make it smaller, of course. It's always, you know, like a window unit, pretty typical. And let's go with that. And then sometimes, again, if you're lucky, you're going to get maybe some sort of little storage area over here. It's not universal. Depends on who owns that particular franchise of the KOA. My son he loved sleeping in a bunk bed. You know, kids usually do. They just adore sleeping in a bunk bed. He was always so excited to go. And it's funny because I always kind of think of that as something, you know, we did. It's not something we're doing, something we did, you know, in the past. But recently he started talking so much about going camping again. I was kind of surprised. It seems like he did really like it. And it's kind of been in his head again to go. So I would like to take him again. And the new pack really does have me kind of fired up about doing it. Let's see here. I'm going to put that there just to give the indication that maybe pegs are there holding stuff, right? And so it is kind of on my radar to take him, you know, camping again, go do something. I don't know if he wants to go camping with me. He may be thinking just with his friends and stuff. He is to that age. He's a teenager. So I don't know if he's thinking that I will be going. But, you know, he can always go with his friends and then go with me later. A different time. Do we have any sort of shingles specifically from Horse Ranch? We do. Okay, so let's put those on here. Let's just put in standard flooring. The light there is looking really not very bright, right? So I might have to change this out. I mean, I like the style of this. It definitely fits the rustic nature of this build. Or I could just throw a little puck light on top of it. That helps. There we go. So we've kind of outfitted. This is our room. This is it. This is our camping cabin. That's what you get. Except that, yeah, we will put in a picnic table. Grab a couple of these. There might be a new picnic table with the new pack. We'll see. Probably there will be. I'll throw one over here. But maybe not. We have a lot of picnic tables, so maybe there won't be one. I'm going to put this kind of right here, and this maybe here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a foundation. It kind of bugs me looking at that, that unfinished foundation there. That's kind of dark. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now, but it does seem a little bit dark to me. I'm going to change it lighter, I think. That's a little odd, but I think it's okay. Okay, let's put in some stairs. Let's see. Oh, let's see here. It's not too bad. Let's go with that. I'm kind of surprised, these logs still seem like really, really dark to me. The picture here of the swatch looks pretty light, but it's coming across really dark. I wonder what if I go with this? What does that look like? Kind of the same, but just bluer, right? That's a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. I do at least like the warm tone of it quite a bit. Okay, let's go with that. And then we'll throw in... that's not going to work. Maybe it seems a little big. Maybe the circle one? Can I not bring it? No, I can't bring it any shorter. So the first place that it doesn't stick through the roof is right there. I guess we could do that. It's not too bad. We'll put it there. Okay, so we're getting a kind of nice little look. It's great sort of little camping cabin here. My one thought is that maybe I could go ahead and... what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this back inside the other one. And then just extend the eaves. I'm gonna put in a fire pit too. think I'm going to change that out. That'll lighten it up at least a little bit, right? And again, I'm looking at it thinking it's really close to this building. I don't think it's really that big a deal. I'm going to move this over here. I wanted to build, well, I was thinking I might build like an additional ring of stones around this, as a fire barrier, but that works in real life. I don't know in the Sims if the Sims will, if I put rocks, around it. I don't know if that's going to interfere with them or not. So I'm going to wait on that idea. But that is kind of our camping cabin. So that part that's pretty done. It's done pretty quick. I'll just make an exact replica of this over on this side, right on down to this here. And so I'm going to need 6 spaces between these cabins. So we'll move it there. That seems a little off. I wonder how that came off. Let me see here. It's kind of strange. Oh, no, it's not strange. Here we go. I need to line it up with that. There we are. That's very close, though. Maybe I can, you know what I'll do? I'll just go ahead and shrink this a little bit up. Like that. So instead of having to go all the way to the ground, it's just going to stop right about there. Let's see here. I'm going to put this in the national park area in the new pack, when the new pack gets here. When I first saw pictures of, the new pack, some sort of concept art, I actually thought it was Yellowstone National Park because it had a geyser. And that's what kind of got me thinking about doing a KOA like this, because that was one of the places we visited, my son and I, was Yellowstone National Park, of course. The big American, natural treasure. And the whole area is beautiful, of course. The Yellowstone National Park gets all the press, but the Grand Teton area around there is also just really, really beautiful. I've been to Yellowstone actually a couple of times in my life, but the very first time I went, I was 17 years old and I was crossing the country with my best friend from high school. And she and I were going to drive to Seattle, Why? I really don't know how Seattle got chosen. I just think because it was probably the furthest point on the map, like in the continental United States, we thought away from Oklahoma. So we were going to go all the way up to Seattle, which we did. And along the way, we were going to stop at Yellowstone National Park. I was so excited. I really wanted to see it. But that year, it was on fire, okay, which happens every so often. Yellowstone burns. So the day we were supposed to go, I said, oh, I think we should go through the eastern entrance because the southern entrance is on fire. And she's like, oh, no. I saw on the news this morning, while admittedly I was sleeping. That is my fault. While I was sleeping, that it was open. The south entrance is open. Hooray, hooray. South entrance was closer. It was a lot closer for us to get to the south entrance than the eastern entrance. So good news, and we go and we get in the big old long line of cars to get into the place. And the south entrance is open, although I'm telling you what, I mean, it was the air and everything looked like it was foggy. There was so much smoke in the air. It looked like it was foggy. But the south entrance was open, and we paid to get in. And then after you pay, they told us, you can only go as far. You can only go 5 miles into the park because the park is on fire, right? Which, yeah, I kind of knew that. Park is on fire. And so, yes, technically the south entrance was open, and we did go in. But we could only go 5 miles into the park, which coincidentally was where the gift shop was. So I got the most beautiful book on Yellowstone. It was so gorgeous. Pictures of all the stuff that we weren't able to see that year. And I guess in theory, we could have maybe tried to drive around to the west, north, or east, but we just didn't have time. We were on a bit of not really a time crunch. I mean, we had time to get to Seattle for our reservation and the things we were going to do, but not a lot of time, or we're going to end up paying, for a bed and breakfast that we weren't there to use yet. But I still remember it fondly, and like I said, the area around Yellowstone was so gorgeous. The Teton area, Grand Teton area, is so beautiful. But getting out of there, it was a little crazy because, of course, we had planned on driving through Yellowstone, going out the north entrance, and then cutting across Montana. And we still needed to get over to Montana. But since it was on fire, we couldn't go through Yellowstone. And the map showed, because we actually had a map, like a paper map. This was back in the late 90s. It showed this route, through the mountains that would be quicker than going back down to the interstate, taking the interstate across and then going up. At least that was our thought. It was our thought process. In reality, I swear, I kid you not, it was like a 1-lane road in a lot of places. I was terrified. And I just wanted to get through it and survive, because a lot of people were using the road because they too got caught off guard about the park being closed. The south entrance, we weren't the only ones. I mean, there were other people there that were like, oh, you're closed? I thought you were open. So a lot of people were rerouting, and it was just a nightmare. I swear, like inclines like this, literally, she's got her foot on the brake and the car is still rolling from gravity, right? Because it was so steep and so sharp. And you're just praying that somehow on the 1-lane parts of it, where there's only 1 lane, so there's a little light, and the little light, when it goes green, that means it's your turn to go. And if it's red, you're supposed to stop and wait. And you're just there just praying and hoping that somehow the person on the other side understands that and is following the rules. Because it wasn't just for like a block, it was for like miles. And it's like if you met someone in the middle, I don't know what you would do. You'd just be stuck. Let's see here. We'll go with maybe kind of a light door on this. Maybe. Let's go with that. I'm really kind of torn if I should put in, if I should make this out of logs as well. Whoops. Or usually a lot of times, they're just going to be a stuccoed rectangular building because these sort of cabins were added after the fact. So they don't necessarily match. But in this case, I don't know. Maybe I will match it. Let's try it matched. I just don't know if I like that box up there. I'm going to have to really think about that. And I don't really need the box up there. I don't need a caretaker here. So maybe, let me just try taking it out. That looks good. I like that. I'm going to leave it like that. It does not need a box up there. I do not need a caretaker. And if I do need a caretaker, I'll just, I don't know, put them in the basement or something. We don't have cars in The Sims, of course, but I kind of wish we do because taking those road trips was a lot of fun. And even that one with the park on fire was fun. And then all the road trips I did with my son, definitely were fun. Now, again, the interesting thing is, I guess we can go ahead and make this match and put in wood floors. But typically, what you're going to find is just linoleum or tile, something like that in these spaces. I will do some sort of tile or linoleum in the bathroom, in the communal bathroom and shower area. I'm going to put a real air conditioner on the roof of this building instead of the window unit that I've got. Put this here for our camping cabins, right? I kind of want these windows to be balanced, but I don't know. I guess they don't have to be. They're almost not going to be. Well, they can. They can be balanced because we'll just move this wall like that. And then we'll put up a couple of windows down here for our recreation room. Another place my son and I camped, a couple of times, is out at the farm, like the family farm. And that's always cool too. It's always cool too. There's a lot of empty space out there because they raise cattle, and cattle don't require a lot of intensive farming on every open surface. And in Oklahoma, believe it or not, we don't have mountains, but we do have some pretty good hills, right? We have some pretty high hills. And so it was very cool to go up on some of the higher hills. Let's see here. And check out the view. Wake up to the view to forever. In fact, that's the first thing. That's what my son said one of the first times we were up there. Maybe the first time we were up there. You kind of come through kind of a little pass and you don't realize how far up because you're in all these hills. So you don't realize how far up you've traveled. And you kind of all of a sudden there's this big vista and the whole world is spread out before you. And that's exactly what he said when we kind of passed through enough of the hills that we could get to that vista point overlooking a large valley, like a river valley, Canadian River Valley. And he's like, I can see the whole world. He was so excited. And I don't blame him. I was excited too. It is a very exciting view and he could see the whole world. So I was like, you're right. Look at that. Look how big it is. Pull that in there. There's our bathroom area. I guess we'll go ahead and put logs on it. I'm not going to, I was going to say I'm not going to put windows in the bathroom, but maybe I should. Usually the bathrooms would have windows, but they're just up, high, like bathroom windows are done. So what have we got? Maybe these up high like that. How big is that? That's a little bit closer, although it doesn't exactly match the style. It is a little bit closer to the size that you're going to find with a bathroom window. How about this? Now, again, it's just a little bit too big. These is made out of wood. Style's not exactly what I'm looking for, but it is made out of wood. Let's... You know, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to just grab this window here. Let's do a couple on each side. Now I'm going to put a door in here. Typically, you know, there's not really usually a door into these places. It's just, well, there is, but it's open like an archway, or the door's just propped open all the time. Now, for showers, I guess we'll do this. Pretty easy. We can mark off 4 showers here for 4 Sims, and then maybe... I might need to make it a little bit bigger. I would ideally love to have 4 stalls for toilets. And then a space for sinks. So let's do that. Let's do 4 stalls for toilets across from the shower. And then we'll move this out one. And we'll do sinks along here by the door. We'll put our window there. Maybe move the window here. We're not going to put a window, you know, in the bathroom area. We'll put it here and maybe here. And I guess we could do a couple. Well, I'm going to put a couple here, but I don't know if I'm going to leave them. Now on the interior, I'm not going to use logs. We'll just do a standard white interior. Well, kinda. I mean, obviously, I guess we should use tile because it is a bathroom, right? It is showers and a bathroom. Now, most of these showers would also be semi kind of open. I mean, you're going to have an archway with a curtain a lot of times across it. Every so often, there might be a stall type door. I'm looking for the old standard door. Where is it here? I know I'm overlooking it. Oh, there it is, right there. So we'll just put these very plain doors here. I would use toilet stalls. I think we've got those in game, right? But they're so big that I don't want to take up that much space. Let me take a look again, see if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, because like this is huge. That's giant. I mean, really, that's giant. And then we've got this one, same way, kind of pretty giant. And then what about that one? Yeah, same way. So I'm not going to use the stalls. I'm going to just build my own with that. For now with the tile, I think just something like this. Pretty simple, white, basic tile structure. And even the floors, this is really cute and really themey, but a little bit unrealistic. So I'm going to leave it outside, but inside I'm going to just change it to some sort of tile. Let's do the herringbone. Now, if I'm going to be really realistic, I'm going to come through here later and I'm going to put maybe a little bit of mold. You know, I'm about a little bit of mold, a little bit dirty, maybe overflowing trash can, something like that. Things that tend to happen sometimes in public restrooms. Maybe that's what I'll come back and dirty it up a little bit. Because right now it looks brand new. This is gorgeous. This would be beautiful for a public restroom in the United States. At a campground, especially. So I might have to switch it up a little bit. We'll use well, I guess we don't need to use that. We could use this. That's more realistic. But I think I'm going to do something nicer. We're going to put this sort of nice one with a mirror built in case you want to shave or something. I don't think we have like a little shaving bar, do we? For women? I don't think we do. Now, sinks, of course, typically are just going to be set into a counter, but we could do something like this, which is pretty close. And we've got something, well, we've got that, of course. But since we're not really going with a theme here in the bathroom, I'm not going to use this. Let's see here. I need this, though. I'm going to put this down here at our camping kitchen area. It actually looks just like a camping kitchen kind of a setup. It's a hard choice. Maybe these. Again, I don't know. Maybe I should go themey. Because I'm looking at it thinking that's really what I want to use. Is that. Isn't that cute? So what was the other option I just had a second ago? Yeah, like this. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the Salvadorado look, I guess. Kind of modern, but a little bit rustic. Now, the bad thing is I can't really do these windows, can I? No, because I'm going to need mirrors across here. Wow, that's big. Okay, how about this? I wanted to have basically, of course, a plate glass type of look to it. Like you see a lot in public restrooms. And I think that will do pretty well for that. This side will just be a mirror image of this side. I'm going to go over here and take a look. Let's start working on our tent campsite. This is the one I really want to use. This is the sort of stuff my son and I did all the time. We always just camped out, you know, in our tent. Now, occasionally I did use a cabin like this occasionally, but most of the time we pitched a tent and that made it more fun. This is really not too bad. I'm going to make the area under the tent dirt, right? Because after, you know, since tents set on it like literally all the time, no grass grows, right? There's like really never a chance for grass to grow where the tent goes. And you know what I need too now that I think about it? I might feather that out just a little bit. Whoops, not like that. So it's a little bit not so precisely square, like a little bit of edge to it. So we're going to park our car, of course. Put a little bit of dirt under here as well. Do we have a lantern? I want to put a lantern in here. Yeah. All right. Let's put a lantern here, maybe on the table. And where is a garbage can? That's what I was thinking. I need a garbage can. Now, typically when I would go camping with my son, we took as our garbage can, because a lot of these campsites don't have a garbage can. I'm going to put a garbage can here just because I'm nice, I'm that type of owner, right? I'm that type of campsite owner. Let's pull up. But my son and I used a collapsible, what do you call it? Laundry hamper. So it collapses down flat, right? And then when you want to use it, you expand it out like a spring. So we used one of those and just put a garbage bag in it for while we were at the campsite. And then when it was time to go, you could just bag up the garbage, take it to the central sort of dumpster area, which I also need to put in central sort of dumpster area, and then collapse it back down, put it in the trunk. And so it went real, completely flat. Let's make it green. Let's give it a green look to it. I'm going to can I fit a dumpster there? I hope I can. Yay, I can. So I'm going to put a dumpster back here. This is by our camping kitchen. Let's throw in a few things here with the camping kitchen real quick. Now, a camping kitchen, don't let it fool you. There's not much to it. It mostly is just a sink and garbage. Sink and maybe a counter. There's usually a counter or two and some garbage can. I'm going to put a regular garbage can here, not just the dumpster. And this is an environmental sort of campground. So we're going to put this one here that automatically recycles. And let's put in some shelves. It's usually going to be some sort of shelving like above it. Where? Maybe this one? Yeah, maybe something like that. I mean, it's a little fancy for our purposes. Let's go ahead and put it there. We're going to put it there, and then we'll see what else we've got to work with here. I'm sure you know what I'm looking for. No, you don't. But what I'm looking for is this Selva Dorada. Let's use these. These are very rustic, and they're, as I recall, there are slots on them to where we could put like maybe a little thing of soap, stuff like that. Do they come in green? Like a nice weathered green? They don't, but that's really what I would like, is a nice weathered green. So, they painted them green, but the paint's kind of faded down. Now, let's see if we have... I know we do. Where is the little thing of soap? Is it? I think it's in the... Well, maybe it's here. Is it here? Yeah. Okay, so let's put some soap on here. Let's put it there. And where's like oh, let me have this. This is good. We'll put this over here. Just to kind of indicate, I could put one of these in the bathroom too. Bathrooms. Put this over here for later. That's why it's so clean. Because they actually have a janitor here, and that's the janitorial bucket. That's why that bathroom is so clean, right? There it is right there. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to put some detergent out here. And then if I can remember what pack it came in, I will just search for it that way. But I know we have a dish, like a drain thing, to put dishes in and the water, for them to dry, right? Not that. And I can't remember. There it is. That was quick. All right. So we're going to put that there. I might change the color of it a little bit. I was afraid I'd be looking for it forever. I really was. I thought I'm going to be searching through here forever. So we'll put that there. I don't know what else we really need for the camping kitchen. That's probably it. Again, because I'm nice, I'm going to throw like a little rug under it. Kind of a little mat. Something worn out because it's been here forever. It started off nice, but it's just been worn down. So let's pull this out here. Some place for someone to stand while they do those dishes while everyone else is by the campfire having fun. Maybe that really looks like what it'd probably look like because it would get so filthy and dirty. I think I'm going to do that, though. Give it a little bit of color and a little bit of light, lighten it up a little bit. One thing, we'll go ahead and put a hose in here, too. Let's see. Because I do think you would have a hose over by the area. And there's kind of our camping kitchen. Now, I was over here checking out. I think this is kind of done. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of dirt. Again, kind of around the edge of this. Because this, the gravel's here as a protection for the fire. But I think, if you're going to have people sitting here all the time, the grass isn't going to grow, So it's eventually over time going to kind of die out a little bit. Let's try to make it not quite an exact circle. Give it a little bit of kind of offset a little bit there. Same thing with the table, though, too. The table's pretty much going to have like just a dead zone under it. Again, there's no light getting down there to the grass, and people are sitting on it all the time. Pretty much stays in the same area. Let me make this really light. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Okay. And lastly, I would think maybe we're going to do a little bit of pebbles under this grill, right? Again, because of the fire, you don't want to worry about any sort of fire risk at our park, so we'll do that. The thing about campgrounds in the United States is, depending on where you are, there might be a lot of landscaping, or there might literally be just dirt. Because my son and I, when we went camping, we did a lot of camping in the western part of the United States. And the western part of the United States has a lot of dirt, right? It has a lot of dirt. So there wasn't always a lot of vegetation, but we also camped in places like North Carolina, and there was. So I'm going to try to walk a sort of line between the two kind of extremes. We're going to throw in a little bit of scrubby looking grass here. Obviously, it's not going to be a manicured sort of place. I don't know if they have any manicured KOAs. Maybe they do. I've never been to one, but we're going to throw in a little bit of grass around maybe here too. I got to be careful. I want them to be able to still use the garbage can, but I also kind of want it to look like there's grass growing around it. Same thing with this sort of like, where does grass always grow? By the water hose. Why? Because that's where water is. So we're going to put a little bit of grass here by the water hose. And it doesn't matter if the Sims can reach the hose or not, because the hose is just decorative. I'm going to put a little bit of this grass in here, I think, as well. Now, I'm going to put on the grid for a moment. If I want to replicate this whole look over here, the first thing is I need to put in my tent, right? So if I put the tent maybe here, put the tree kind of over here. I think I'm going to draw in we'll put our pad site for our car, our vehicle, maybe a truck right in here. See if we've got enough room. I think we're going to have enough room. I really don't think I need to map out every one of these right now, but I do want to get sort of a feel for it. So we'll put a garbage can here. Not too bad. So we'll have 3 tent sites, 2 cabins, and then if I end up putting this on a 50 by 50 lot with, you know, the dock, we'll do a luxury cabin over the water. Now let's put in our check-in desk and stuff in here. We really don't need too big of a check-in desk. This space might be too big. I do want to keep some realism, but it might be too big. Let me see here. And let's grab, first of all, I think I'm going to make that lighter. Now, if... you know what I could do, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and move this here and make this activity room a lot bigger because we've got these really large... sort of like, you know, ping pong takes up a lot of space. These things take up a lot of space. I'm going to put video games in here as well. So I'm going to make that larger. And then we can put the check-in desk right here. Because again, the check-in desk is just pretend, right? It's just to have a sort of realism in the build. It's not really going to function as anything. So we're going to put that there. It's a place to pretend that you're checking in and buying stuff from over here. And even that's pretty big. I don't know. I could make it a little bit, bring it out like this. We're going to have kind of a weird gap here. I don't know. I guess that's okay. It's not as weird as I thought it would be. It looks all right. I'm going to throw in a little bit of theming here. A little bit. Put that post there. Maybe we'll put a post here or something. Maybe not. Wait. Now for shelving. I know we have retail shelving from Get to Work. And we have some retail stuff from Business and Hobbies. Displays, miscellaneous. I really don't know what sort of shelving I want to use in here. I don't even know what I'm going to put on it. Again, I do know, but I don't think it's really going to be functional. Oh, this isn't too bad. This definitely looks, let me get some light in this place. Let me see here. I want to see what these colors really look like on it. This is not too bad. I do like that, in fact. Let's see here. That looks pretty much like something you would find, right? Let's put that there. I'm going to grab some vending machines. That's something we can put in here in both areas. Let's grab that real quick, too. In my luxury resort that I did, I put a bunch of vending machines in there as well. So we've got hot bits and baubles. We'll use that here in the gift shop. And where is There's more than this, right? Is there only 6 vending machines? Why do I feel like there should be another one? I don't know. Let's put the Snack Attack one in here with the kids and the video games. And we'll put the ice cream in here too. Simmies we'll put here in the gift shop because they're kind of like a souvenir type of thing. I think I'm going to put, I don't know. One part of me wants to put in this sort of hot food thing. There, in some KOAs, you will find in this area, we call it Hunt's Pizza. And it's a sort of pizza that you buy out of a display case. It's already cooked at a convenience store, right? Or at a gas station. And some KOAs I've been to did have that set up as well. I'm not sure how that works. I guess maybe you buy a franchise and Hunt's sends you or gives you access to frozen pizza probably, and then you cook it. Like in an oven type thing that just goes on the counter. And then you put it in the display and you buy it by the slice. So I could put hot eats in here to kind of replicate that, but I don't think I will. I don't think we need to. We've got enough vending machines right there. That'll be good enough. And then let's go back to surfaces and see if we don't have some additional. I do like this. I love the fact that it has a very realistic look to it. Let's put it in here. I could use stuff like this though too, because a lot of times gift shops will have like those kind of themey sort of shelving units. So let's grab that. Let's grab this. I'm going to go ahead and use that as well. And again, it looks a little bit like there's stuff to buy on it. This too. Let's put this in here. And then I'm still not really, what I really wanted was some sort of retail style shelves. Kind of like this, like, right here. Because I do want to just put some stuff on it that, I guess there is this. So we've got that kind of shelving. It's not my first choice. We got that. That's not too bad. Again, it's already got some stuff built into it to kind of give it a look of holding stuff. And then we could go ahead and, do one. Oh, that's pretty. Let's do that. I can't fit a whole lot in here. I got to be mindful how much space I have. Let's take a look at this here. So we can put the vending machine maybe over here. Is that too crowded? I don't know. It is kind of crowded. You know what I'm going to do? I'll put the vending machines outside. Because that's where they would be. That way, when the check-in office and the store is closed, you can get something from out here. I'm going to put this particular shelving unit here. And I'm going to do this back here, I think, with one of these on each side. Maybe this here. The end of that counter like that? I don't know. We have to be careful of thieves. So we don't want to block our sight lines over to this other stuff because, these campers around here. I keep hitting escape, sorry. Let's put this stuff though here, and we'll put this next to us. We'll do like 3 shelves like that. And then the last thing we could do is maybe just a table or 2 here in the middle display type table. I mean, it's really going to be like a dining room table, but we'll use it as a display type table. Something pretty rustic looking. Ah, like that. That's looking pretty close to like a lot of gift shops, I think. It's rare that gift shops at these sort of locations have like a cohesive sort of shelving. It's kind of like, oh, well, you know, Yankee Candle gave us this display thing for Yankee Candles, and so we just shoved it in, right? And I think I'll put a bench in here. Let's put in some sort of place to rest. Because like you just got to here with the kids and maybe they're tired, so you put a little bench here while you're checking in. Well, where is it? Miscellaneous. I kind of want something comfortable, but I also want something realistic. So let's grab that. That looks so small there, though. In fact, that looks so small, I can almost just put it here. Right? I'm not going to put it there, though. But it does look really small. God, we could almost put a sofa there or a love seat instead of a bench. Well, let's do that. Let's put a love seat. I kind of like that idea. Let's put a love seat. Or I see, here's more what I was looking for. That. Okay, that looks more like what I'm looking for. Let's put that here. Because it's a bench, but it looks a little bit comfortable. It's got some comfy little cushions on there. Maybe we'll do, oh, let's do blue. Kind of matches that. Well, I don't know. Is that too much blue? Maybe. Let's do that. Now, what I want to put here on this wall is I want to put like bulletin boards and pamphlets and like, I don't know, stuff like that. And I don't think we have anything like pamphlets, like a pamphlet board. Though maybe we'll get it with a new pack. That'd be really cool. Let's, I think I'm going to use this just as decor. And then, oh, I'm going to use these two. Because again, that looks like something you see hanging on the wall that you could buy. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to put this back here to use for our office area. Ah, this is good. We keep our place clean, right? We'll hang that there. And we're going to put one over here too. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to put doors. I should probably have some sort of doors so people can get into our area. Let me move this here. Where is, let's have this. Like that. I guess we could put one from here as well. In fact, we actually could leave this open a little bit. I don't think I am going to leave it open with an archway because in real life, I don't think it would be. It's going to get noisy in here with kids and stuff playing. And so there might be a door between these two places, but not an open archway. Okay, so I got a little distracted. Let's get back over here to this stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to put some of this out here for sale. So let's grab it. Oh, these. Oh, these are great. Okay, so definitely this stuff can go out here. Kind of Western motif. What is this? Cow plant. That's fine. We'll put that there. Oh, and all of these can go on the wall somewhere. So cute. I love those. Because these are also like definitely things you're going to see for sale. Now, let me see here. I'm looking for pamphlets, aren't I? Yes, I'm looking for pamphlets and bulletin boards. I found a ton of stuff to sell, but I haven't seen those things yet. Ah, here we go. Like this. Now, this is from Design Home Decorator. Yeah, I don't know. But it's got so much stuff on it. It looks like a bulletin board. I'm going to put that there. What about this one? This I'm gonna put over here for like activities or to pretend. This is our schedule of activities. Oh, and you know what? We could put one of those in the other room too. Where is it here? We'll put one over here. I know that there is a, maybe from Get to Work. If I can't find it, I'll search by Get to Work. Like a bulletin board, you know, with like all these official looking documents and stuff on it. This right here, that's what I'm looking for. Let's make it a little bit smaller so it'll fit. Put it here. And I'm going to get rid of that. I really love that board. It's so well designed, but I need something that looks a little more in keeping. I'm going to go ahead and put this here too. I think it'll be good enough as far as the look goes. I could use a few more shelves, maybe. Something really shallow. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is good. Right? Obviously, we need our open sign. Guess we'll put it here on the outside. Like that. That's good. And I'll put one on each side, you know. Okay, so let's see real quick. I want to see if we've got a little kind of shelf. I didn't see anything there that looked like pamphlets. So we're going to check and see if we've got anything here again, kind of shelving wise, that might be real narrow, that would fit under there. I mean, I could make it smaller like that. But I kind of want something not cluttered in this case. Maybe this. And then I could go ahead and see if I can find something that I could stack on there that would look like pamphlets. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Now that I think about it, let's just look for some magazines. And then if I find something else some other time, then that's fine. You know, I'll just swap them out. So we'll put like, you know, some magazines there and let's lower them a little bit. And then we're going to pull the shelf down a little bit so it matches up. I'm going to put one of these in here, I think, for just some decor. Now, what else would work? I mean, oh, how about letters? Maybe let's see what we've got. I know we've got like piles of letters. I'm going to put these here. But I was hoping to find like a stack. I don't know. Let me try paper. Aha, see, something like this is what I'm thinking. What's that? That's a little bit too messy, but this here. Can't be used. So it only comes in one color. That's fine. That works like that. That's okay. Now over here, I want to put something on this shelf, but I don't really know what exactly I want to put on that shelf. Let's put this here for now. And this someplace else for now. So we can move that up. I'm going to make this something that we could sell too. I mean, again, it looks like something you're going to find in kind of a Western shop, like grandma's ye old, you know, what were those things called? Washboard maybe or something. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, this is so quaint. I'm going to redecorate the whole house in colonial America. American Western frontierism. That's what I'm going to do. Let's see here. Let's just pull up. Let's get rid of paper. One thing, I might use some of these other places. One thing I'm thinking is I could put like the ubiquitous Jarro peppers on these shelves, right? Or something like that. I know that they'll fit on there. But I want something like this. This is not bad. So we've got legal case files, unorganized documents. I don't know. Maybe this? That's okay. Let's put one of these here again, because it does look like a sort of, you see a lot of those little tent card things like that. Who knows? Maybe that's like the Hunt's pizza menu, so you can call and have it delivered. I'm going to use these hats somewhere because that's something you're going to buy pretty much at like every gift shop, right? Put one of these little precious moments things up there. Oh, these. We're going to need some of that. I'm going to grab some of this too. It's very common to sell grocery style stuff. And is this cereal? Yeah, cereals. And let's get some of that. And usually you can buy camping gear too. I might take a look at the camping gear here in the game and see if something might fit. Because camping gear is something you typically will find also in these sort of, a lot of times I'll call them the general store. The general store at like a campsite. In fact, that's where I bought my first air mattress, was at a general store at a campsite. I had always just slept on the ground. My son and I had always just slept on the ground. And it was in Santa Fe. And I swear to God, the whole campsite was just made out of rocks, like sharp rocks. And I did manage to sleep on it and stuff. But like the next night, when we got to the next campsite, I was like, yeah, no, definitely not. I'm going to go look and see if they have is that the same thing as that? Is that what that is? No, it's different. I'm going to go look and see if they have an air mattress and a little, what do you call that? Like an air pump. And we're going to use an air mattress from here on out. But up until that point, I'd camped like several times just sleeping on the ground. But my first air mattress I did buy at a KOA general store in Arizona. Let's see here. Put that up there. Not up there. Well, this would be great. Let's put one of these out here. Again, that looks very gift shoppy. If you ever come to the Western United States, you're going to see that in every single gift shop. Even gift shops that have no business carrying it, like, you're like, why is this here? Because it's popular. People want it. It'll sell. Put this back here. And I'm going to put one of these again in here. And I'm going to put one over here in the bathroom too. In fact, I'm going to put two of them. Let's put one in each bathroom. What is, headphones. Okay. Let's grab these. We'll put them up here. Oh, there is something. Yeah, like the peg with a bunch of bags hanging off of it. I'm going to need that too. I'm going to need these shirts. I don't know if I have enough room for all this stuff. I'm trying to sell everything in this gift shop. There's a lot of room up there, though. I might have enough room. So we'll see. And I got the whole tabletop there. Oh, let's grab... Well, I don't know about the pillows. Yeah, I am going to grab a couple of them because I can put them places like that. Like up against the front here where there's not any slots anyway. This is good. This is another thing that's kind of ubiquitous to the American Southwest, like the little kind of colorful dog. There's so much stuff. We really do have a lot of stuff. You know what might be pretty is to put like a thing of flowers right in the middle. Let's put one right in the middle of that. Put that in there for decor. Okay, now I want to go and find... I think they're here. It's like bags on a peg, and I can't remember, of course, what of the 100 bags we have that came with. But I think it would be good to hang from the wall and kind of look like, you know, you're just going to sort through them and kind of find one to buy, right? And I just had them recently in a house I built. It would be really great if I could remember where those came from. They're relatively recent, but I think we've probably had like, I don't know, 10 kits or something since then. This is good, though. I'm going to grab this while I'm in here because, again, that's a very much a Midwestern sort of gift shop thing. Put that in here, too. So not completely useless to come over here because I got those 2 items. And I don't remember seeing them a minute ago because I feel like it's something I would have grabbed. So why am I not seeing them here? Oh, there they are. Right there. Okay, so let's grab these as well. Put that in there. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and I'll put a small rug here. Something a little worn out. Doesn't this come in kind of a Southwestern feel? Yeah, right there. There we go. I'm going to put it right here. I really don't need it, but I'm probably going to put a computer on this, you know, like right here. If I turn that around. The grain is not going to line up, is it? Oops. Okay, I do want to put something there that looks realistic. I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous about putting a computer there. I do not want my Sims to come in here while they're supposed to be having a vacation to enjoy nature and get stuck behind this desk. You know what, though? What I can use, I'll use something fake. I'll use like that fake, isn't there like a fake register or something from Get to Work? Get to Work's been so long ago. I really can't remember if it had that or not, but I think it did. Let me look here. Like this. I guess we could use this. It's real though, right? Is it real? Can I put it here? I can. So I'm gonna put it. Whoops. I'm gonna put it there, and we're gonna use that. Should I use this one? This one's kind of fancy and new. Newer looking. No, I'm gonna use this older one. They opened a long time ago. They have not updated their equipment in a while. So, let's see. How many of these can I put on here? One. How about, can I put this on here? Yes, I can put that on there. Oh, and I can put one up here. So that's kind of good. I'm kind of glad about that. We'll put that there. And then I'm going to just kind of, you know, do this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it fits better. Put it there. There we go. And we'll put this here. And I guess I'll change the colors of them a little bit just to kind of keep it interesting. Let's make these front ones, these smaller ones, red. Okay, so what else did I get? We got this thing. I'm going to put this down here. It looks like the sort of thing that would be on the floor. Let's go anywhere now. Go over here. Go over there, though. I don't think I'm going to put it there. Let's put it there. I guess right now, I don't know if I'm going to use these. I'm like looking around like, where am I going to put this? A roll of towels. Let's put it there. For now. And then if I don't like it, then I'll just... Is that stuck on top? It is stuck on top. So let's get rid of it. I'm going to, really want to give the impression that these are just hanging from the inside here, right? Kind of hanging in the inside. So I really don't want them to go up above. I guess I do it like this. It's a little off, but it's not crazy bad. And then I'm going to let's put this guy. Nope. How about right here, buddy? No? Okay. No, I got to put something else there. Let's put these shirts there. I know I'm going to put a stack of them. Big stack of shirts. Is that on top? Please stop going on top. Want to put some sort of groceries over there. Maybe this with the groceries. I'm going to move the hat. Let's move the hat and let's put the vase in its place. I'm going to put the hat up here. Really, what am I going to put up there to... I'm going to have to put something up there to block the slots, right? Because once the slots are blocked, then I can kind of move things in with move objects on. So I guess we could do that. Put one of those buckets there. How about... I'm going to make that one large, make that one really big. Now we should be able to, like, if I want to do another hat here. Oh, I've still got slots here and here and here too. Okay, let's how about let's take these dishes. Will they go here? Oh, okay. So maybe we can use the dishes as something we're going to kind of move objects on into place. How about this guy? Can I put him up there? Yeah, now I can put him up here. I'm going to run out of stuff to put on these shelves pretty quick, so I think it's going to go pretty well. We'll do a little colorful one there. One thing I want to put on in here right now, before I forget, let me grab another one of these things. Is Yarny. I usually put a Yarny in someplace, especially when it comes to traveling. Yarny is my favorite, probably, well, one of my favorite video game characters ever. I don't know if he's my exact favorite because I really love Oshawott from Pokemon and some things like that. But he's one of my favorites. Where can I put this guy that he's not going to be in the way? Let's put him up there. We'll put that over there. Grab a little bit of this stuff. Put that there. I'm going to stack these shirts here. Maybe we'll change the color a little bit. Okay, did I spell that? I did spell that wrong, didn't I? There we go. Is it this? Is that how you spell it? Yarny? Oh, you know what? I know what the problem probably is. I thought I had the cheats in place. There he is. Okay. Woo. Okay, let's put him somewhere for sale. Maybe up here. Let's put him on the cash wrap for sale, because that's where the kids are going to be, is coming up here with you to check out, and then they're going to cry and throw a fit to get that. And so put that there. And we're going to do a special blue one that costs like 10 times as much. Well, not 10. Twice as much. Twice as much as the red one. Because again, your kid's going to want the blue one because, oh my God, nobody has the blue one, please, Mom. And then you're tired, you've been driving all day, and you're going to be like, yeah, okay, fine. How much is the blue one? Do you take credit cards? Because basically it's a credit card or an organ because it costs so much money. So let's go ahead and grab a garbage can for back here, right? Maybe this one. That's kind of cute. Let's put that back there. Yeah, like that. Looks pretty cool. Maybe that color. I do like that. I'm going to stick with that. Then we've got these pillows. I'm going to stack some of these pillows up here. I'm going to make them some a little bit larger. We'll do some smaller ones. Let's see. see. Okay, there we go. Maybe one more. I might change the colors here real quick of some of these. Let's put a little small one here. I'm going to put these particular things. I don't know where. I don't have a lot of space for them, do I? Like wall space? Well, I got to figure out someplace to put them. Maybe up just up here then? And now I'm going to put just a bunch of these bags kind of like hanging here. Put them in different colors. Pick the kind you like. There we go. Maybe that. Maybe that. I kind of like that. Then we have 3 of these in different colors. In fact, they're all different. Yay, okay. One thing we can do is we'll go ahead and put a round rug under this table. What kind? I don't know. Oh, yes, I do know. This, of course, we're going to use this one. That is like a perfect sort of Midwestern country store type of rug. I'm going to leave it that color. Now, we've got a whole bunch of these sort of things here, right? So let me grab the cow. And we're going to put one of the little sheep here. This guy over here. I think we can put the llama. Man, I need some place where you can see him and want to buy it, right? So maybe, well. Oh, let me, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. And let's move this. Can I move this back here? Yes. Let's move this back here. Because this is valuable retail space. I can't just be using retail space to, you know, display a broom. I need to be able to put stuff there that's going to sell. Okay, so we got the Star of Texas. I don't know where we're supposed to put it. Maybe up here. Oh, and then we've got these things here. I really don't know where I'm going to put them. There's not really any room. So let me, we may not be able to use these as much as I want to. I don't know if we'll be able to. I guess I could just hang them over the windows. I guess I could. I could kind of hang them over the windows. Let's try that. If I don't like it, I can always take it down later. Okay, so we've got these things here. I'm going to put a couple of these here. So it looks like someone bought it and they're like, this is so going to sell, and then it didn't sell. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this thing here. We'll put it under this window to put even more stuff there. And I need to put, you know what we could use? This would be something you might find. Let's see here. Picnic baskets. I'm going to put these up here, in fact. Try and get them to kind of fit. I know, we'll just make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Now, what else could we possibly put under there? So, I'm looking for kind of a big, substantial basket. We could do this. We could definitely put that under there. Or maybe put it here. Because it looks a little bit like a toy box anyway. Like where maybe kids might find something to buy. And this is a toy box where kids would find something to buy. So this is going to be absolutely perfect. We're going to put this here. And then I need some more toys. Maybe this is kind of cute. Let's put this here. Do we have like a ball? We do. It's right here in front of me. Okay, so let's do a basketball. I'm going to put it on the shelf. If this was a bigger place, that would be a really great thing to put at a camp, would be a basketball court. That's something I have seen if you had a really big area to work with, like the 64 by 64 lot or something. A basketball kind of court or goal would be really cool for campgrounds. I don't think I really have room here for that. I'm gonna have to think about it though, because that is a really good idea, and I think is exactly what I'd like to see. I am going to put in a playground here. So I'm going to put another basket of fruit. We don't have very much food in this shop, so I'm going to try to bulk it up there with the fruit. All in all, that doesn't look too bad. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to paint the back wall here with some sort of wood or something, just to give it a sort of more of a focal point feel. I think if I find a wood here I like anyway. I think Horse Ranch will do. Let's see. In fact, the whole thing looks kind of good like that, doesn't it? Maybe. Oh man, I do kind of like it. I didn't want to get too themey in here, but no, I guess we could. There's no reason not to. I'm going to go ahead and do that. In fact, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go ahead and do the ceiling in here as well. Let's see here. There we go. We're going to put that on the ceiling. Might as well do that one too. Because that does kind of bring something out. It does look a lot better than just those plain white walls. Now, granted, I've been at a lot of campsites where the general store and the office area and stuff have just plain white walls. But I just think that this looks it just looks nicer, right? I mean, it really does just look nicer. So let's do that. And I don't know if I need much else for this particular area. It is, it's not too bad. What color should we make him? Let's go with that. All right, so that looks pretty good as a gift shop, general store type area. I think that's going to be great. Now here on the kids side, I need some. Let's put this somewhere, like maybe right there. Let me have this. We're going to move it. Maybe here, and we'll put the little cleaning basket by it. Maybe I can set up something there. It kind of is going to work for that. let's put this sort of activity schedule here. Now, I want to use that table I just deleted, of course, the Don't Wake the Llama game. But I'm gonna look here for the one that is paired with chairs, and I don't have to go look for the chairs for it. Because it is in here, right? Yes, right here. So we'll grab this and we're gonna put it, I think, in the middle. Let's put it in the middle, and then we'll put these larger items. Well, this in here and this here. Maybe there. And I'm going to grab, I'm going to need some furniture and video games, right? And I'm going to do the retro video game coming with Adventure Awaits, right? That's what I'm going to really put in here too, is because again, when you go to KOAs, a lot of times the stuff is a little bit older, right? It's kind of left over from, like when my son and I were playing, we played like an old air hockey game. That's one of our big favorites because of that. And foosball, both of them were really ancient machines, but they were like just tons of fun. And we had so much fun doing it. So that is this one here. This is really, really big, but I do think I'm going to put it in here. And it should work even with this table next to it. But I'm a little torn. Now I've got to figure out where I would put a video game system and a place to play. My thought is we do this. We move these over here. And this we're going to shrink down a little bit and put right in the middle, where people can find it easily. I'm going to combine this with this sort of, what is this? Like a storage unit here. We're going to put it there. We're going to bring this in like that, so it just barely fits. We're going to put our little bucket here for cleaning stuff next to it, like that. And then, do I have enough room? I think so, to maybe build a video game area here. So maybe I can move this here. This is really a really nice activity room. I mean, there's a lot to do here. I mean, really, when you look at it, it's quite a lot to do here. We'll put that there. So I have two options. I could try to fit something here, or I put it here. Let me go ahead and grab some chairs. I wonder how many so far. You know, like on the everything we've seen. I think so far we've only seen 2 kids playing the video game at once. I don't even know that 2 kids can play the video game at once. The new one. Because I think right now 4 kids can play a video game system at the same time. So should I assume that's the case with the new? I think so. I think I should assume that. So we need 4 chairs. And how nice do we want the chairs in this room to be? Not super nice. We want to be kind of old. In fact, something that looks like maybe from the 70s or the 80s or something. And I don't know if any of this really fits that bill. It really doesn't. Like, none of it's really grabbing me as, I guess we could use this, right? The old yucky chair. Maybe this. Now, this does always remind me a little bit of kind of the 70s and 80s, because I feel like when I've seen pictures and stuff, I feel like this sort of rattan sort of looking stuff was kind of popular back then, right? Maybe. Put this here. Let's find ourselves a TV again. We don't want a TV that's too new, but we could do something like this. I mean, really, it should be something like that. But I'm going to try. What is that? It's fun as 5. I kind of want to do something a little bit nicer than that. Maybe this. That's way too big, though. So maybe that seems way too small. So let's take this and let's shrink it down. And I'm just going to pretend that at some point, I don't know. No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Hopefully it won't break down all the time. But I'm going to put like having an older TV. This would have been like from the 1980s maybe, or the 90s. And so we're going to go ahead and put that there. And then for a video game for now, we're going to put this sort of like, they're calling it the Dream Cube. So it's supposed to be like what was that thing called? The GameCube. So it's supposed to be like that. So we're going to put the GameCube. That's kind of from the 90s. So we'll put that there. And they put that in when they're like, kids just don't want to camp anymore. We got to do something. We got to put something in here that's going to attract the kids too. So they brought in video games. And but guys, I've never actually stayed at a KOA that had video games, to be quite honest. I'm only putting it in because I know the new pack is going to have a retro video game system, and I want to be able to use it. So I'm figuring, well, we'll go ahead and put in a video game system in here. Every KOA I've been to, though, has more like this, like board games, or like I said, one had air hockey, one had like a foosball table. I may not have room for these vending machines inside. I might put them outside. Maybe just put one in here. I could put this over here, make it big again. Because I do kind of feel like the vending machines should be like right here where the kids can see it and just pine over it, and then go beg their parents for it. That's not too bad. That's looking okay. I don't really know that we need a lot more here. We could throw in a few posters. Something like that. Motivational fitness, Jaguar. There are some video game posters, maybe. See, I don't see anything. Well, this kind of looks like something, right? Like a travel sort of poster for a national park area. We've got those too. Where is that? It's like an actual framed piece of art. I know it's in here. Now I just have to find it. It is. Oh, boy. Like, it's got maps on it. Which one of these is it? Oh, my gosh. Maybe. Well, no, it's not that. I don't think. No, it's not that. Those kind of would do in a pinch, you know. I don't know. I know they're in here. Maybe I'll just count on eventually somehow come across them and I'll put them in the place I know I want to use them. Now we do have these Sims. We could put the Sims poster in here maybe. Put it right there by the video game. Is it this? I don't think so. Nope. Oh, is it that? I think it's this. Nature Watch. Yeah, I think it's going to be, it is this. So, okay, let me grab a kind of selection of these things here. So, yeah, I'm going to use that map, kind of topography map, and that. And I don't think I'm going to put any rugs in here. I mean, I'm kind of debating in my head right now. I would like to because it would look interesting, but I think in reality, you've got a kids, primarily a sort of, I mean, parents will be in here playing with their kids, but you've got a very rough and tumble, rowdy sort of space with vending machines, right? They're going to be drinking, eating. Probably just a solid surface is best. I'll put that on there. So I think that's kind of done. Now I might come into this room, especially at some point, and put in a little bit of distressing, you know, make it a little bit dirty. I think that that's something I definitely could see myself doing with that particular room. Oh, wow. Okay, so those windows need to move just a little bit. Let's move them in there for now. I guess that's okay. I really don't like flat roofs overly much, but I do guess we might stick with it because it is pretty much traditional for that sort of look. But I think we'll outline it. Do. And then we can. I guess just use this jetting exterior trim here. We'll put that on there. Kind of around the whole perimeter of this build. That's weird. I don't think it, I thought when I put that wall there, it would create a room on top. It did there. There we go. Now is it a room? No, it's still not a room. Okay. Let's do that. There we are. Oh, shoot. I can't believe I just did that. When I'm not going to either. Let's just do this. I'm going to take it back like that. I'll just move it into place like that. There we go. That didn't erase everything, right? Yeah. And for roofing, we'll just use the kind of typical pebbles, right? Gravel Delight roof. Gravel Delight roof. We're going to put that up there. And actually is, like I said, pretty typical, pretty normal. And I think I'm going to go ahead and replicate this look on this one side, on the other side. And I'm also going to put this foundation in place. Yeah, I was just wondering if I need to put like a small piece of floor here for the second floor so that I can put trim along the front. Because see that white bar? The white bar, of course, will not disappear unless I put some sort of, you know, second floor up there that I can hook the trim to. So, you know, it won't look quite so jarring. So we'll put that in here. There we go. And do we have it on the other side? I guess we don't need it on the other side. Oh, yeah, because of this, the way this is built. Okay. And that's kind of our entrance. We need to do a lot more landscaping and some other. We need to put in a pool. We need to do landscaping. Probably put in some horseshoes. I need to plan an area. Make sure there's enough space here for some sort of playground because we have playgrounds coming, of course, with the new pack. Excuse me. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. We'll be working on this again tomorrow. Tomorrow might be enough. Tomorrow might be enough to finish this. If not on Monday as well, but I think tomorrow might be enough. So please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And join me tomorrow for the well, I don't want to say the conclusion. For something close to the conclusion or the conclusion of this particular build. And in the meantime, as always,